Hello, hello, big world and Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Next Level Official Podcast has gone live.
What's
This the magic duo here. That's it.
that's it. This just
We're
a
missing
duo.
one. The trio's down to a duo for this weekend only. Uh, Big Pelo's out there taking care of his family like he should. So we hope him the best in his family. But the show does go on for our one viewer. We wouldn't want to leave our one viewer alone
And
in
not
this
that our
world.
one viewer is us watching ourselves, making sure that everything's running smooth. That was not the case. There's someone out there who's literally interested in what we do and growing, growing.
I'm waiting for those
What
wives to log in right now. Start
look,
giving us
ladies,
that love.
look, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna keep it real. We grow like Deutsch, okay? We grow like Deutsch, okay? You know,
1 cent at a time.
1 cent at a time, okay? But big impressions, big impressions.
Oh man. So for those that haven't seen, we like to talk about the news, entertainment, gaming, all kinds of stuff, little tech, little lifestyle stuff out there. So one of the funny things that we had just recently talked about was that last Blackbuster episode that had come out on Netflix. It's the last one out there. Well, we just saw an article just recently that if you didn't return your stuff back in the day, it can come back to haunt you.
It will
So,
come back.
Noobs, when he rented Roadhouse and never returned it back, apparently some felony charges for this lady were filed for 20 years overdue VH rental. When she went to go renew her license, she found out she had a felony in Oklahoma. I guess Oklahoma looks down on you if you have not turned back
Yeah.
Sabrina the
And
Teenage Witch.
I was just going to say, Speedy, enlighten us as to exactly what it was that caused this. And Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And let me tell you, for anybody who liked Sabrina the Teenage Witch, this is what could happen to you. You guys need to be careful. Now, what happened? So it turns out that that they went out of business. When was that, Speedy?
In 2008, so this rental, whatever it was, Blockbuster, mom and pops went out, dropped some felony charges. Of case in point, there is a failure to return your rental equipment, i.e., being a small little disc of your favorite TV show. Apparently, she believes she claims she never saw it. We don't know that for a fact.
She knew.
She could have been
She fucking
heavily. She could have been heavily into Sabrina, Teenage Witch. She just doesn't want people to know it. But she claims it was a boyfriend with his daughters that probably never returned it. But they got away with a really nice one here. Apparently, the business went out into 2008. So these felony charges were still following her up until last year, man. So good job, law enforcement. Get them criminals.
There you go. There you go. Now we know where money's going.
But she got it dropped. The company went out of business again in 2008. So Noob was notorious for late fees back in the day. I think he even got a job at Blockbuster just so that he could return stuff late.
Yeah. Yeah, it's listen up, people. 248-345-01957. That was my account number. Okay. That was my fucking account number. To this day, I don't know why I know it, but I just fucking do.
It's because we were there every day. Like we're there like every
all
2
the
days.
time.
Renting.
All the time.
Like millennials will never know what it's like. I've kind of feel bad because Netflix gives us everything on demand. I really wish it was not the case.
It's kind of funny that we're actually talking about this because just yesterday, during my brother-in-law Steven's birthday party, we're talking to his mom, and we just so happened to bring up Blockbusters, and it was the whole remembrance of on Friday nights, people would, these video rental places, man, were just off the fucking charts. Like everyone nowadays, I honestly don't know where the young kids of today go to hang out on Friday nights, like where their place is. But let me tell you something. Back in the day, come fucking Friday, every motherfucker you knew was at either Hollywood Video or Blockbuster Video, and you could guarantee there'd be a ton of people. The greatest thing about it, and this is something we had talked about and kind of missed, was that feeling of you looking for a movie because only had so many copies of a movie. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody rented it early, come Friday, like there were people who would wait at the drop bin, and ask like, "Ooh, what movies got back?"
We
So
would wait at the
we would
drop-in.
wait. People would check and be like, "Oh, is this a movie you're waiting for?" "Yes, it is." And they would check it in. They would hand it to you, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!" Like you just like scored gold, man. Like you were like set for the weekend. Like you the best thing about it was you knew your Friday night was going to be off the fucking chain. Why? Because you had some bomb ass movies, bomb ass friends or family, and y'all were going to fucking sit and have a great fucking time. And it was so awesome. Like I loved those times, man. My cousin and I, we'd rent video games and check out stuff. And it was just that feeling of like, dude, we got it. It's what we got, what we came for. So
It was
those
a
are
good
good
time,
times.
man. Like I enjoyed it. See, you got
I
OJ here. He remembers those times too. So
those are
I
really good
really,
times, man.
I kind of thought about like maybe making a trip out to that place, but like I don't even like going to the grocery store half the time. So like, how the hell am I gonna? Why am I gonna drive to Oregon or Idaho or wherever that last place is? I'm like, I'll just order something offline from them. Uh, I'll get a keychain or something so I can pretend to be cool later on.
It's true. So I mean, cool for that. Lady having that extensive fee, or having to go through all that. I'm assuming that mom pop place or Blockbuster really wanted to like make a statement with her, by showing her, hey, you don't return it, we're going to the full extent of the law. We take this serious. So they did. They sure as
Mm-mm.
hell did, man.
So also coming up for you, we know there's an adaptation for Dune that's going to be coming out pretty soon. But the first graphic novel, for those that might be interested in loving those kind of comic items out there, has been released. Book one is out there. If you don't know what about Dune is, it's about a bunch of blue-eyed people and playing in the sand with some worms. So
You know,
get
actually,
it, get it on.
here's a fun fact. Something with Dune, if you guys were, love the 80s genre, especially 80s movies like I do, back in the day with
It's
Beetlejuice,
popular,
Dune.
dude.
Yeah.
All 80s stuff. That's it.
Yeah, all you people who are just loving 80s, just because it's the fucking hip thing,
Where's
let
the
me tell you
beat?
something. We fucking lived it. We know it. Okay? We touched it. Like the 80s air was like on us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's different. That's way different. But let me tell you, Dune was originally directed by Ridley Scott, who ended up leaving, if I'm not mistaken, to make Alien, and then another gentleman ended up taking it over. What was his name?
You're,
I
you're
and I
asking me
only
questions I don't know. I was only
no.
like, through that decade, I went from the age of 0 to 10. So if it wasn't about Gremlins or Salt and
There,
Peppers, Push It, uh,
yeah, there's
I don't
there's a,
remember.
there's a gentleman by the name of Minty on YouTube, and I've actually been watching a lot of his videos where he does 10 things you didn't know about a certain movie. Could be modern, could be 80s,
Oh,
could be
okay.
retro. And he actually did one on Dune that was actually talking about some of the really cool things. So for any of you guys who, maybe Dune fans or just 80 fans in general, check out Minty, because he also does some really cool videos where he gives you some insight to some of your favorite adaptations. So do yourself a favor and check it out, man. We'll have to drop his link in the after the show.
But this is not, for those that are worried when you hear graphic novel, this isn't like a Frank Miller type of graphic novel either. So no worries there.
No
The kiddos
pictures.
could probably take a look at it. I don't know. There may be a knife or two in there. Who knows? Big
I'm
worms.
actually I'm actually really intrigued. I'm gonna have to
Not the one
probably
from Smokey.
pick this up and read. I'm not at Speedy's level, so I'm not gonna finish a book like in 30 minutes. It'll probably take me like maybe
It's
by the
called
end of the year if we're
reading.
lucky. Maybe
It's
by the end
called
of the year if
reading,
we're
bro.
lucky. If we're lucky,
It's
I
called
get through it.
reading.
It's all good.
He's talking shit because we had this conversation about movies and adaptations from from books and how sometimes they suck and people just like shit on them constantly.
And it's a
And
valid
so
argument. It's a very valid argument.
What movie were you just talking about that you said you had just
Oh,
watched and people were crapping all over it?
so No Remorse. No Remorse. If you guys have not seen it, it's a new movie that got released on Amazon Prime. So if you do have a
It's a
Prime
Michael B.
account,
Jordan flick.
it's a Michael B. Jordan. It's a Tom Clancy novel, and my wife is notorious for constantly every time we watch a movie, she will always check the IMDb or she will look up trivia. So while we're watching it,
Because she's with you.
she's like the
Because she's
mystery
with you.
science.
You've been
Yeah,
giving us those ones that get like 10 ratings on like Rotten
yeah.
Tomatoes.
I'm on a roll, bro. Let me finish. So, so she would just spit
Just
these
hope you
things
feel
out.
better.
And it's like mystery science theater with her. It's like I'm watching something and I'm so like invested. And she's like, oh, by the way, so and so happened at this time. And that's why they did this. And I'm like, oh, really? That's awesome, babe. Thanks. Okay. And I'm watching. She's like, oh my God, at this scene. And I'm like, oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. But it's really interesting because she just made a comment stating that a lot of people who read the book were highly disappointed with the movie, which I pointed out to Speedy. And it's a no-brainer personally. I mean, and like I said, I don't read a lot, but Speedy has read books where he honestly feels the same. And we had this small conversation just because there's so much in a storytelling, right? That you can imagine, that you can get through, that it can be as expansive as it needs to be, right? But in a movie, in cinema, in order to bring that story in, you have to keep people engaged. So some of the topics in a book may not translate well to cinema. So therefore, that's why movies get trashy. Speedy, you had some really good points, man.
I mean, I think this is a case of like when you read a really like okay, so like they don't make shitty books into movies, right? They just don't do that, right? unless you're like in Vince Vaughn's last movie, Cell Block 69 or whatever it
Wow.
was.
50 fucking something, bro. Wow, really?
Whatever that movie was, whatever that book was probably a shitty book, and they just made it into a crappier movie. But
or maybe it's a shitty movie and it's gonna have an amazing book. A pop-up book.
It's still a possibility, right? And so the thing is like people who like I found that when I read the book first and then I watch the movie, it's always a bad experience, right? Like I read Sphere and then I watched the movie and it just didn't live up to the book. It's the same thing when I read The Postman, I Am Legend, all the Isaac Asimov stories that were built together to make iRobot. I think we're talking about this. Like they were always not as good as that. But to the other point, like when I watched the movie first and then read the book, what was it? Ready Player One. I loved the movie. It was just full of all our 80s genre stuff that we're talking about. But then when I read the book afterward, because I hadn't read it, I loved the book. But I could see the differences between the movie and the book. And so
and you weren't so as judgmental per se to the movie because you watched it first.
Yeah, and so that's why I feel like you watch that this what was the name of the movie with Michael B. Jordan?
No Remorse.
No Remorse. So like, I bet you if I watch it and I really like it, and then I go back and read the Tom Clancy novel, I'm gonna have two really good experiences. But if I read that book first and then watched the movie, like I mean, like it was the same thing when I read all the stories that built up. God damn it, I'm trying to think of the what were the movies where Tom Hanks was pretending Da Vinci Code and then Angels and Demons.
Oh, Angels and Demons.
Angels and Demons in one day, and then I read the Da Vinci Code, right? And then later on, Tom Cruise. I'm not Tom Cruise. Tom Hanks. It could have been Tom Cruise for all we know. He's in everything. He wants to be in every goddamn movie there is out there. And so
he's probably an extra in the movie. We just don't know.
That dude's gonna be like 75, like pumping collagen into his body so his skin doesn't sag, so that he can do some stunt, running out of a window, jumping through it, just to say he did it.
That guy's nuts, man. I think it's that Scientology
he was wearing
mentality.
Pampers. He was wearing Pampers in the fighter jet scenes in Top Gun.
No,
I just made that shit up.
Oh my god!
Everyone out here.
So
Everyone have been doing it.
So really quick, because you were talking about something last night that was really interesting, man, and I honestly really enjoyed it. We were talking about the whole movie book scenario. We were also talking about, he brought up a point with I Am Legend and how the differences were, and I didn't even know the difference because I only saw the movie. And as I enjoyed the movie, I personally thought to myself there was something missing when Speedy was explaining exactly what happened in the book. Everything was like so much clearer, and I could completely understand, this whole, reading the book and then watching the movie 9 out of 10 times is going to be a horrible experience, for the movie. But when you watch the movie first and then you read the book, you're able to appreciate both, right? Because you see them both for what they
But for
are.
Pelo out there, I know he watches Star Trek movies and then reads Star Trek books, and they're both bad experiences for
But
him.
they're pop-up
So
books though,
uh,
so it's like going like this with
their
the
color, they're like paint by color, number books that are out there.
and he still fucks up. I don't understand. Pelo, where's your instructions?
So something something along that line. I know he's gonna comment. He's gonna jump on. And he's gonna be like, "You
Oh, you
sons of
fucking should be.
peaches." Oh, so one other Palo's favorite things is Star Wars. So just recently, for those that know out there, I guess there's this big idea of like, hey, in what was it, Empire Strikes Back, when Luke gets his hand chopped off for finding out that Vader's his daddy. Daddy
Such your
issues,
feelings,
obviously.
Luke.
Daddy
I
chops off your hand,
am your
that might
father.
cause some daddy issues. But in later movies, they never really explained it. I never thought about it. Like, where the hell did his hand go? Because in The Force Awakening, they have his lightsaber, right? They had it in that box, that trunk, and what's her face goes and finds it later on and has those visions and leads her all the way back to Luke and crap. But
So
he was missing his head. So they apparently there's this comic that's out with Vader. I did not know this. I might go out and look at it here, but it's a Darth Vader series that's been produced by Greg Park. And basically, they start talking about it because in one of the scenes, this is happening after Empire Strikes Back and all those Force Awakenings. So they're like going back and rewriting stuff. But Luke's hand is just floating in one of Palpatine's little genetic layers, and so basically, what they kind of insinuate is that maybe what was it, Lord Suits or whatever his name was, it was in fact maybe had a little genetic disposition from Luke. Are you there?
so yeah, so they're gonna do some sort of what do they call it? When they fuck, I can't think of the fucking word. I think
You need more coffee,
having
bro.
I'm still having some effects after yesterday's events. So I'm trying
Adulting.
to I'm trying to use some Juan Valdez magic right now and get back to that, get back to some normalcy.
So
But yeah,
do you like it when comics do that, or like when
you
when
know
storylines are being built like that? Like
you know
they try to
what?
release information later on.
I love it, but the problem is that not everyone follows this massive fucking tangent of stories. And you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I love Halo. I'm a big Halo fan. I love Master Chief, right? I just love Halo, right? But I don't read the novels. I don't read the comics. I'm not that kind of person. So when,
And
in essence,
there's nothing wrong with that, man. But like, I just like there's just a lot of details that they're filling in, and
yes,
obviously, as being, I guess, if you're looking at the scale of Star Wars fan, I'm like in the middle towards the bottom because I don't know these things.
yeah.
But I
I
mean, I
mean,
thought it's interesting that they can weave these lines in, but like, it just makes it really hard to follow
yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, case in point, Boba Fett, we all thought he was eaten in the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi, and that's where that ended. But apparently, fucking not, because like, 2 novels later, he's fine. There's some fucking loophole, and he gets out, and it was in a book that it's only the
In a
diehard
book.
fans, would have read. Which, again, if you're a diehard fan and that's your cup of tea, more power to you. That's awesome. I think it's great for fans like us who are fans, but by the same token, run across these Easter eggs, and it's not something that's like planned. It's just something we come across that kind of fills in these little
Yeah.
holes that we're not necessarily searching for, but it's just neat, and that's awesome. I love that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
what's next, boss?
So
Coughing it up.
So we all so we got some let's skip over to a little bit of something. We're just going to throw this out here, switch over to some video game content right now. We do have recently on the Nintendo Switch, Pokemon Snap is finally released. Now, I don't have an exact day as to when it was released. Let me take a look. Give me 1 second.
Well, is this a Snap guide or is this just? Hasn't Snap been out for a little while? I don't even know. Let's see.
I honestly don't know. It was
who
available for.
Is watching. It's a Pokemon, Pokewoman. Got to be inclusive.
Poke something, it was available 4/30/2020, so it got released. It got released on
last year. Last year. I think what you're looking at is a guide.
You know what? I don't know. I could have sworn Pokemon Snap is like a new thing. But anyway, for all those Pokemon fans out there, just want to throw a little shout out because hey man, there's some more.
One of your best friends is telling us that you are a huge Pokemon fan.
Oh, that I'm a huge fan. Is that buddy, I'm a huge fan of everything. Okay. You just calm it down. All right. All right.
He's huge fan.
By the way, the person watching Other Jesus is a really good friend of ours and excellent buddy. He's just a buddy. He's a buddy. And this gentleman makes some music. We're going to be throwing out some links for some of his music. It's available now. You can download it for free on Apple Music. You can take a look at it. Kenneth Daniels.
Well, pay the man. Download it for money.
Download it, check it out. He's got some really good songs. We'll go ahead and link a couple of his tracks so you guys can get a feel for what it's like. He's got some very nice eclectic sound. He has a lot of influences.
Honestly, he allowed us to use one of his tracks when we first started doing our podcast.
Yes, Head Smasher,
and it was a great song. So definitely, I will link the links down here for that on at least Apple Music.
So
Noob's a huge.
I'm another huge fan. I'm a huge fan. Okay, so moving along with some gaming news, just to throw this out there.
Sure, I got you one right here.
Speedy and I were talking about this. Call of Duty right now has a new battle pack and an in-game challenge. Only reason why I kind of felt it was necessary to kind of bring this out is because this is going to help fund veteran employment. I'm always, I haven't played, Modern Warfare in quite a while, but in regards to helping veterans and that kind of thing, I think it's really amazing when gaming can come together and kind of help out different communities or all walks of life. There's always charity events that, people are doing or certain games do to help out in certain areas. Call of Duty has always been big when it comes to veterans. So they always kind of do these events. This isn't the first one they've had, but this is really nice. So currently right now, you can actually buy the Call of Duty Endowment Battle Pack. Includes an operator skin and it's created in partnership with Timmy Hobbs Jr., an Army veteran, combat medic, and Call of Duty fan. So right now it's going to fund the campaign with $2 million is the goal currently. I don't have any statistics as to where it's at. I believe.
It's actually really cool. They're really saying here that if you get on the game, to get on the system, one, you're going to play the game itself, right? And you're completing these challenges. Every challenge that you do, they're going to give $1 to this organization here. So it's if you ever had a reason to game, this would be a reason to game, especially, right? And their whole Activision is hoping to raise at least $3 million. So if the community's out there knocking out these challenges, knowing that May's military appreciation. Coming from a veteran here, this is a great opportunity to see these kind of communities kind of come together for this. And Noob and I have been to some of at least the PAC South here within Military City because we live here in San Antonio, Texas. Um, and there's other organization out there. One that I want to throw out just because of the amount of gaming that they do with them. It's called Stacked Up. Great organization. They do a lot of gaming to help military members one come together, reach out to the community through these kind of gaming sessions, and then also help within some of the baggage that we carry that we come back, and then also send gaming equipment out to troops that are out there because I will tell you nothing sucks more than being stationed in the desert for like 6 months and working like 12 bonds and like having absolutely nothing to do. And so these are just great ways for things to help out there. So if you're not on the system and you got the game, throw the challenges on there. Spend 10 minutes.
You know,
Give the opportunity to give some cash to that. Actually, if you don't have the opportunity to give cash,
yeah,
give your time to do
anything
it.
anything helps. These challenges normally don't take a severe or like a long time to accomplish. Some of these are actually fairly easy. Maybe just like getting a couple of frags or getting 5 or 10 kills on an opposing team, or just capturing the
It may
flag or
take
something
you
like
a
that.
couple hours to do those
It will take
things.
me all day. Let's not lie. I
Where's
don't.
Pelo? We know it
I,
takes Pelo all day.
oh
Where's he at?
gosh.
And he's a veteran too. So where is it?
So and yes, again, this is definitely something to help veterans. This is just news that we can bring out to better unite gaming and helping out veterans, and it's just a great cause. So I definitely hope they meet their goal, and I have a big feeling they will. Call of Duty is a massive game, and we'll keep you guys posted and let you know what happens on the next show to see exactly where they're at. Further on some gaming news, we also have some Apex Legends Season 9. So I'm not a massive Apex fan. I've mentioned to
What?
Speedy that we should try it. I have it downloaded. Speedy told me that he's gone through this a love-hate relationship. So he like installs it, uninstalls it, installs it, uninstalls it.
Dude,
So
I
I'm
only install it to play with friends when they want to play it. Like my brother-in-law loves this game. I have another good friend who loves this game. Like I should love this game. I
but
love
you should,
Titanfall.
because
I
it's
love
it's by the
Titanfall
same
1 and
makers.
2. OJ over here that's been tossing out some of the threads here. He and I were in a massive battle on Titanfall
Let me
1, I think.
hold on. Let me
I
explain.
him legit wise and he cheated to get to
Dude,
Gen 10
I
this
remember that
platform. And
they would
he
battle
was always
like
crying,
little
let me
girls. Like little
he was like
girls.
crying. He's like crying, let me kill these guys. Let me do it. I need the challenges done. This is 100% legit Gen 10 here, baby. I should love Apex because it came from these people, but I
It came
don't.
from Respawn
I don't love
Entertainment.
it.
Speedy mentioned, and it was kind of funny, but by the same token, I kind of understood where he was going with it, because he kind of felt like everything that he loved about Titanfall was kind of broken up into pieces that makes Apex. So in that regard, it just doesn't have the same fulfillment. Granted, they're on season 9. We talked about this new mode. Speedy, how did you explain this mode? Because it honestly sounded kind of interesting. It's run of the mill kind of copying Rogue or
No, well, I mean, I think these are all iterations of itself. All right, so like Rogue,
CS:GO.
you can see some of that. Yeah, you can see Counter Strike aspects into it. So basically, in this mode, it's 3-on-3. You get cash at the beginning. You buy your weapons. You can pick up stuff during the round to help modify your weapons for the next round. How you perform is what's going to dictate how much cash you get, much like Rogue and like Counter Strike, right? Like you got. So we got
So
Pelo with
Pelo
us.
be broke.
He's gonna
So
have.
Pelo's gonna be
He's
broke.
gonna. He's gonna be running pistol the whole game, and so
Guys,
he's
how'd
just
you
gonna
get
be in
that
the back.
sniper? How'd you get that master shotgun, bro? I got like 5 kills. Oh.
But I know a lot of friends who love playing this game. Like I said, my brother-in-law plays this quite a bit. I have a good friend who's always telling us like he's on, whatever win he is for the season. I just don't. I don't know what it is about Apex. Like I just I'm just not a fan of it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Overwatch a little bit too much, and I don't like Overwatch.
No,
So
does it
I think
really?
that may be.
Dang.
I think that might be the reason why.
You
But
saying that just like Buzz killed OJ right now. I think you literally hurt his feelings.
I know I like destroyed the game that he loves, but it's
I
because he's
heard a
good at
whimper.
it, and I just don't
He's
like
good
it.
at what? I'm sorry.
I'm not a
I'm
huge
sorry, what?
fan. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan. But moving on, the season nine's there. If you enjoy it, play it. If you drop a comment, if you actually one of the five people watching who play it. But something that's new out there that I know Noob loves is a huge fan of. Some Halo Infinite
Huge.
details were released. So let's talk about it.
Huge.
Tell us, bro. Educate
so
us.
um so with um so with this right now, we have 343 Industries. Personally, I kind of feel 343 is really still trying to make their mark. I feel they've had great opportunities to make a huge impact in the Halo community. To say they failed is just a bitter Halo fan slash gamer speaking. So I'll take that. But the whole thing is they, they when they released Halo 5 Guardians, there was some glitches, there was some things that were a little wrong with the game that had to be adjusted. Halo Master Chief Collection, personally, I think was bigger because it encompassed every single thing that we loved about Halo, and it was your
Hmm.
way to play all of the things you loved about Halo, including the original Halo Combat Evolved multiplayer. It was like one of the first times, and I remember I'm notorious for constantly taking a day off when it's released because I'm just a great fan. I loved it. I would play it at midnight with other Jesus, and it was just like our thing.
Hmm.
And when we played Halo Master Chief Collection, it was the network was down, and it wasn't
Yeah.
because there were so many people. It was just really broken, very broken, and it took
Yeah.
them a while to get that game back up and running. Now it's running great. I love Halo Master Chief Collection. They have all kinds of stuff involved. So now for the new Halo Infinite, we do have some nice details that are revealed. So we got some cross-play capability that's going to be across the board. So you'll be able to play, on your PC or Xbox,
Yeah.
with the Game Pass. That's going to be awesome. One thing we've also talked about is cross progression gameplay.
Cross
So
shades.
what?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Hmm.
whatever you do on Xbox translates to your PC game and vice versa. You can pick up wherever you left off. I think that should be a standard in gaming, personally, because of the fact that technology gaming has grown so vast and so many people, you know, not that they're greedy or um I can't even think of the word, but it's we're at that level in gaming, and we're at that age that these types of features should personally be a standard. Cross progression, whether it's PC to PlayStation or Switch to Xbox.
Yeah.
There has to be some level where you don't feel like you're doing everything over again. So that's going to be awesome. Alongside, but Speedy, are you so? If the new Infinite comes out, are you going to play it? You going to check it
Yeah.
out?
I'm gonna play it on the Series X. But I'm not as big of a fan of Halo. I know my little one has become a big fan of Halo, just playing the Master Chief Collection, and so he's always gaming on it, and we're always talking about it. But I'm looking forward to playing this game with him specifically, and then with you guys eventually. But I enjoyed the storyline and on the campaign aspects of this game. I'm just not necessarily always a fan of the multiplayer. I always felt like it was really bulky, and it kind of reminded me of Doom. And then like some of those death matches that they had. And I can't, dude. I'm like for the life of me right now, I cannot remember the other multiplayer game. that was kind of set with the real engine. That it was just like
Hmm.
huge people, like jumping from stage to stage, and and it was just all death match kind of gaming.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not so sure, but like I'm excited to see that, and we'll see, exactly kind of what's going on with them, kind of
So
moving out before that.
that's good, man. So, I mean, one of the big things I think that people were disappointed with whenever they first debuted Halo Infinite was definitely the fact that the graphics didn't seem to be on par with a lot of AAA titles of today. And they definitely heard the voices of all, the gamers that had watched it, and they've got the feedback that they needed to help make the game what it should be. So they basically went back to the drawing board and were adding
Mhm.
some additional features, refreshing all the graphics. So I honestly really have high expectations when it comes to the XS version of the release. But also, a really cool thing that'll also be happening is with the PC side of the release, there's apparently going to be a lot of graphical options to accommodate those players who, hey, let's face it,
That's cool.
when it
I,
comes to PC gaming, not everyone has like the biggest rig or the updated graphic cards or this and that. So there's going to be apparently a slew of options that is going to help make everyone's Halo Infinite experience playable and pleasurable. So with that being said, man, we just really have to wait and see what 343 produces and hope it's everything that we're expecting for the new iteration of Halo. So
all
we'll
right,
go
man.
from
Get
there,
into
man. Yeah.
some adult content here. Elizabeth Banks is
Oh,
bringing back
ew.
the sequel of the Flintstones for adults to TV. I wonder what this is going to be like. If you don't remember Elizabeth Banks, she's done a lot of comedy movies. I know I first saw her in the 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is one of my favorite movies of all times. That character, and then subsequently through all these other ones, she's had directorial movies along with some of the Sing movies. Not the Sing movies? The acapella. What's that acapella movie
Which
with
one?
the girls and they're singing?
Acapella movie and the girls in there singing.
God damn it, dude! I can't remember shit half the time
I
anymore.
can't. I can't. I know what
Pitch
you're
Perfect.
talking.
It's Pitch Perfect,
Oh,
and
Pitch
so
Perfect. Oh, that one.
it's interesting in seeing what this is going to be like. If this is going to be kind of like a Rick and Morty kind of deal as they kind of progress. It says for adults, so like I know this isn't going to be the kid friendly Saturday morning get your Pebbles cereal kind of a show here. So I just think that's going to be kind of interesting. There's some information out there, no release date as of yet, but it's going to be
So
interesting. I'll watch
yeah,
it.
so this is going to take place. So this is going to be Bedrock 20 years after the original. So this isn't
Hmm.
where Fred Flintstone is in his prime. He's actually at the age of retirement. Pebbles, the daughter, she's already 20 years old. And this is like this whole new animation type aspect. I think it's kind of cool, man. I think it's great. I I think one of the things that always gets me is a retold story of something that's exactly the same. It's just from a different director,
Hmm.
and although their vision may be slightly different, it's still somewhat the same. You know what I'm saying? So like that gets kind of boring. So to see this progression in life, like where would they be now, if we age them or whatnot, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be cool. Probably some suggestive, talk or material, being that it's for adults, but who knows, man? It honestly may be what we're needing in this day and age because, there's, hopefully I'm really hoping that when it gets released no one fucking bitches about something or fucking throws a petition about some bullshit because a word was being used inappropriately. Like let's be fucking adults, people, and enjoy it for what it is. Okay, it's
We
Flintstones.
agree. She's hilarious. Yeah, like I'm looking forward to it. With all the time we've been spending in recently, it looks like to be something that'll be kind of funny. Other news here, funny with the NFT, with all those kind of blockchain technology. If you don't recall, Disaster Girl, she took her photo and made it an NFT. So, like, if you remember back in the day, there's a really great series on BuzzFeed that says, I actually became a meme. If you watch them, it talks to the people that were also part of memes, like either knowingly or unknowingly, when they and how it affected their life kind of going forward. So, you have a chocolate rain guy, and then you have like the really nerdy dude. Well, apparently she was the young girl that was in that photo that looked like she burned down that house with that smirk. She sold this bad boy for $500,000. And then on top of this, she retained her copyright, which is one of the things that we talked about with NFTs, especially for artists getting residuals off their work. And so she has a 10%
Royalty.
residual copyright royalty on this thing. So like anytime this thing is sold in the future, no matter what, if it's sold for $10
She'll be
or another
constantly
million,
banking.
she's gonna get money. So it's pretty interesting that she took something that like obviously she didn't do when she was young and made this into something that's gonna impact her life.
So did she buy her house
young
back?
people. No, apparently
That's the question.
Another one to burn down, but for right now, she's gonna pay off her student loans, which is probably a good idea to be moving forward. But
Yeah, definitely,
I just thought
man.
that was hilarious. So if you got an NFT, you got an idea for an NFT, there's some guys out there that are just willing, and ladies willing to drop some cash. We got to come up with an idea, bro. We got to do something.
We're gonna do some next level NFTs. So
Next
get
level,
ready. You
Pelo
have those
being
wallets
the last
open.
person. We know there's some of you out them cryptos that got some money out there that want to be selling us something here. And then also, I found this was interesting. If you're into 3D printing culture, you can actually print some of these statues that are out there from a museum here. And so basically, what they've done is they've rescanned all these bad boys out and made them into 3D sculptures so that you could all see them. All right, we're getting an ad there, but anyway, there's a lot of things that are out there that you could get to. So like, if we don't have a chance to go see Michelangelo and all those other things,
That's pretty awesome.
Kids. Get it going so that you can actually see some of these things. So like, look at that. That's pretty damn cool.
That's fucking awesome, man. That's a really that's a great way to keep your kid cultured, or to culture your kid, and to or show them things that
kids your culture, or cultures
kids your cultures, or culture club your kids. I mean, it's just a great way to kind of keep them not only to expose them, to something interesting, and something, truly breathtaking, but on a miniature scale, and still show them, hey man, this is what it is. And, explain the story behind it and whatnot. I mean, that's awesome, dude. That's really cool.
All right. And then, Noob, when was the last time you used a Magic 8-Ball to answer some questions in your life that you needed some guidance
Actually, I am the result of the 8-Ball. All of my decisions in life have been through an 8-Ball. My wife still does not know this to this day, but it's hidden. It's hidden in the house somewhere.
I asked you a question coming from Element. If you've ever seen these guys, they do a lot of programming. I'm just going to play a couple of videos here for you while it's going. But what these guys have done, they've given you the examples. And if you want to follow their technical expertise here on the Element with the Raspberry Pi, they build, and let me get it here for you. This is the coolest thing ever. It is a Magic 8-Ball that uses memes to answer your questions.
How much?
Basically, you ask it, and then it tells you, look, here's Garth telling you, no way, man.
That is awesome.
He loaded like 26 different ones based on the same progression and, ambiguous questions to the other ones. And so basically you ask it a question, you shake it, and it'll give you a meme to answer it, dude. So like there's a Tracy Morgan one saying, no.
See,
this is something you can build.
Clever.
But if this was for sale, I would buy this shit.
I would. There
would be a charge on my card. My wife would be like, "Yo, what did you do? What do we have?
What's this $300 for 8-Ball?" You're like, "Babe, it's magic. It's memes."
I'm like,
it's memes.
It will help us. So,
but you know what?
I just thought this was awesome.
It is a great idea. You know what would be even more interesting is if they had like a little SIM card where you could update your own memes and have them into the registry for
Dude,
its
this isn't for sale. This is you build it. So these guys built this, and basically they uploaded their own memes. Like you could upload your own. But like
that's just fucking amazing.
Hilarious. Like there's Homer going, I don't know. Kanye West.
Oh my god, dude, that is classic, man! Wow.
Dude, so I want to build this. I don't know if I have the expertise yet. I've been messing around with a little bit of electronics, but I would hella build this thing
Knowing my luck, it would just
for
constantly
itself.
be the Kanye meme coming up. No matter what I did, it would just constantly give me Kanye just going.
So Elements got this. You hit their YouTube channel if you want. It's the Magic gift powered by Raspberry Pi. It's hilarious. These guys like come up with all kinds of ideas. There's also a maker community out there that you can find these on multiple sites, and they show you step by step how they build these things. So like, kudos to this guy. This is a great damn idea. I'm sure you could make some money. I don't know what the implications are for the memes and stuff, but I love this idea. That's pretty damn cool. So
It is awesome, man.
I would buy it. If I knew how to build it, I would build it too.
So, tossing up the 8 ball, and I'm kind of looking at mine right now. So this is giving me the okay to go ahead and bring this up. I want to talk about something. I don't want to skip over to the movie TV realm here. Something that I recently watched and am completely blown away by. For those of you that are DC fans, Superman and Lois. It's a new show, and I honestly, hey, I don't know when the show is released. All I know is that it's on episode 5 currently. 6 will be coming out this week. I don't know how often it uploads. You can find it right now on HBO Max. It's amazing. It's truly awesome. I actually was on a lunch break and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put on, some TV while I, eat my sandwich. And I just came across it and I'm like, I'm just going to put it on for some background noise. Chit-chatting with my son.
Give us there's a lot of Lois and Lanes. I was gonna say Lois and Clark,
or Lois and Lane could be
Lois and herself.
Lois and Lane
personality.
Yeah, right.
What is different about this than all the Smallville, all the other crap that we talked about this? We're like revisiting the same crap over and over and over.
So this is a great iteration of Superman, just Superman living his life, right? In Metropolis, he is Superman, right? But he still has to live a life. What does he do? What is he doing? Where is he at in life? And I mean, it's obviously him and Lois. So what has happened, right? After Zod, after this, everything that he's battled, growing up, where is he at? So it's this wonderful, interesting take on the life of Superman and Lois because, it's obviously she knows who he is. They're married, and it's a progression of their life. And it's just such an interesting tale. I mean, I'm not kidding you guys when you literally, and I'll tell you this, my Yvette was watching this along with me because I had my family over, and they were they're hanging out with my son and stuff. And when I had put it on, I got kind of interested. And Yvette was watching this, and she was like, "Oh man, that looks really interesting." She ended up watching it. She ended up setting it up on her TiVo to record and whatnot.
She got interested in it. She got her attention.
Yeah, and she's not a huge superhero person. She doesn't know the ins and outs, but for someone to visibly see oh, she was really interested in it, just really goes to show the kind of impact. Hey man, for those people who are big DC fans, would really enjoy this show. So for anybody that's kind of curious or whatnot, definitely watch the show. Give us some insight. Let us know what you think, or in the next live podcast that we have, drop us a line and say, hey, you know what, I did watch it, it was great, or I didn't like this or didn't like that. I'm hooked. And it's been a while since I've been hooked on a TV show like that. I don't even like Winter Soldier and Falcon that much, right? I watch it to watch it because it's leading up to shit, but I'm thoroughly uninterested. I'm just going through the motions, Superman and Lois, I'm like, where's the next episode? Do I need to fucking email WB and be like, yo, what's up, guys? What's the holdup? Because it's good. It's really good.
I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to come back and talk about this next week because, just by looking at it, I'm a little. It looks a little too WBCW.
See, that's what I thought. That's exactly
on top of it.
That's exactly what I felt when I honestly started watching it. I had this feeling before it even started of Smallville.
Yeah, I
Smallville,
mean,
though,
it's
at
too cookie cutter, too clean, too
the
white, right? You know.
the whole thing is, and since we're looking at the cover right now, okay, so it's obvious that that's Superman, and those are his sons. You know,
Okay. So
from
it's like a
there,
take on that family style and like all the things that go on with
how
it.
does he manage life? You know, what does he do? It's everything, and
I'll
it's
tell you how you
every.
manage life. You do what I say, or I'm gonna beat your ass or burn it with my laser.
It's my way or the highway. Okay.
I can look through the ceiling to see all your nudie mags that you have inside your dresser. You can't hide
So
nothing from me.
you know, and I think that's what's most important. And I honestly, personally feel, you know, as a father, a show like this just really gives you, like, I mean, not a connection, because I mean it's like
Yeah.
Superman, but there is something about it that is just so interesting, because it kind of brings Superman down to this level of true fatherhood, where you're just like, I never, you know, it's like you always thought about it, but now
Hmm.
there's a show that kind of goes through this story, and it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Well,
So,
cool, man.
yeah. So please take a look at it, check it out, let us know what you think. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's that time. I think it's that time to say adieu. So we are Next Level Official Podcast. We thank everyone for watching, for hanging out with us, and chatting along. You'll definitely see us again next week live. Hey, man, we're out. Hope you guys enjoy your Sunday.
That's it.
And that's it.
See you later.
Peace out, guys.